And it went like...
High school sucks and I hate it so much. When people talk about high school, there's usually one thing that always comes up in every conversation.
High school prepares you for challenges.
Okay, so there's a lot of sayings, but basically, high school is usually held in surprisingly high regard, with many people, especially parents, recalling some of their fondest memories being in high school. And when you're fresh out of middle school, your first impression of high school is probably going to be, high school sounds great, and I can't wait to go and meet new friends. Unless you were one of those kids who was aware that their early years are now behind them. Of course, once you actually get into high school, you'll be able to form your own opinion of it. But wait, I hear you cry. Why are you asking me for my opinion? This isn't about mine, it's about yours. Now let's calm down and shut up and listen, because now we're going to talk about not just any high school experience, but the Buckingham experience. So grab a seat, relax, and let's start from the beginning, shall we? If I'm being honest, I actually don't remember a lot from these earlier years, so please bear with me. Now let's get the obvious out of the way. When you first get in high school, you're not going to have any idea what you're doing, unless you were super prepared, like some nerd. And, despite popular belief, I was that nerd. I did the shadow days, I did tours of Buckingham, I went and looked at all the classes, I sat in the classrooms, yada yada yada. And yet, and this should come as a surprise to no one, I still had no idea what I was doing. I only knew about 3 people going into this high school I'd never even heard of, and I was starting to feel really lost during those early years. I wasn't particularly helped by the fact that I was in a pretty bad mental space during that time too. There's a reason why I call this section The Reckoning. But despite all of that, I managed to pass my classes and get through the rest of the years without much of a hitch. I honestly couldn't have done it without the help of some really great people I met, but more on that later. Let's talk about the experience. When I came out of middle school, I was really into choir and theater. So, of course, once I got to high school, I would join choir and theater. And turns out joining these 2 classes would heavily impact my high school career as a whole. Academically, though, I don't think I really did anything to particularly stand out during these first 2 years. I was still getting adjusted to everything and being, pretty obnoxious. Let's just move on, please. I might not remember a lot from my freshman and sophomore years, but boy howdy do I remember everything that's happened in these 2 years. These 2 in particular are pretty important to me because I ended up doing a lot and accomplishing so much. From actually consistently keeping my grades somewhat above average to meeting new friends and literally traveling all the way across the country. I consider these 2 to be the highlights of my high school career. Honestly, you'd be surprised to know just how much confidence you can probably get just by going up a grade level. No, seriously. As a freshman and a sophomore, I of course looked up to the upperclassmen. Once I became an upperclassman myself, however, I realized something very important. They were just as stupid as I am. I mean stupid in a really positive way, trust me. When I saw everyone else being comfortable with themselves, I started thinking, why am I not comfortable with myself? The answer should be pretty obvious. I was just way too focused about what everyone else thought of me and how I carried myself, how I dressed, how I walked, and everything and everyone. However, once I started to relax, I actually started enjoying my time at school. Of course I had my off days, but once I stopped really caring, I actually felt pretty free. And it kind of made me wonder, why didn't someone tell me this before? I could have been having the best high school experience from the get-go. Well, wonder no more me, because this next section is going to be...
Disclaimer, the advice that I'm about to give has probably been said about 1,000 times before, so, take it at face value.
Alright, now that we got my personal experience out of the way, let me give you some pointers on how to make your experience even better. Let me just clear up one thing, your high school experience is going to be nothing like High School Musical. I swear to God that movie has lied to us. The first pointer should be pretty obvious. Let go. And no, I don't mean let go of all of your responsibility and just do whatever the heck you want. I think I explained this pretty clearly already, but just in case, just know that no one is ever going to scrutinize you as hard as you scrutinize yourself. Which leads me to point 2, don't ever get so wrapped up in yourself that you lose sight of what's really important. Your friends, your family, your grades, these are obligations that you have to be aware of. Even if you don't really like them, it's better to learn how to take responsibility now than forget how to do it later and struggle with basic tasks. Point 3. Understand that trying new things really won't kill you. You'll either get better at something you are already pretty good at, or you'll have a new skill under your belt. Either way, you win. Now, this next point has probably been repeated over and over and over, but just try to talk to people. It might seem pretty daunting at first, but at least you can say you tried. That's what matters. You'll never know what kind of people are out there until you actually start to get to know them. You might make friends with some classmates. Heck, you might even make friends with some teachers. Now, a lot of what I've been saying is pretty standard, but this next point is something that really needs to be addressed. You have 4 years. You are in control of how you spend them. After that, it's the rest of your life. Personally, I think that this isn't taken as seriously as it should. High school sometimes just feels like forever. It's never going to end. But the truth of the matter is, it will. I can't control how you feel when you look back, but just know that once it's over, you can't go back. When people say that high school has left such an impact on their lives, it's because they didn't realize it until it was gone. And it's going to be even harder to really forget with all this technology. You can go back in your camera roll right now and look at these pictures, these moments you've shared with people in your life. I took a lot of these times for granted. I don't want anyone else to make the same mistake I did. So let me share some of these moments with you. Whether you're just getting into high school, currently in, or leaving it. These are moments that I will always hold dear to me.
Hey. Ah! You have to do it. No, he goes like. All I gotta do is hit. Good job. I am. It's Cowboy Santa. Yee-hoo. Yee ho ho ho.
Oh my god, Jack, remember when you want to kill Rhodes? Fly off in 3, 2, 1.
I know these clips seem really random and really silly, but these really were some of the best moments of my life.
Well, lizards.
Hey, Mr. Christensen. Hey, Mr. C. Are you a yeehaw?
Thank you all for making my life so incredible, even just for a little while. Now I want to close this video out with a thank you to my friends, staff, teachers, everyone that I've encountered on the path to wherever I'm going to go. Really, thank you for being a part of my life. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know one thing's for sure. I'm going to miss you, and you guys are great. And of course, thank you guys for watching.